I'm Allendale's chief meteorologist Ryan Martin with a look at your midday weather update. Cool air is starting to release its grip across the eastern part of the country as Canadian high pressure is lifting or moving east, we should say. There's not a lot of lifting going on yet, but it's moving east. Cloud cover, top of mind over a large part of the Corn Belt as we have moisture coming out of this system that hammered the Central Plains yesterday and is moving through the Mississippi Valley. Moisture has actually been able to spread just a little farther north than we were talking. We had been saying I-80 southward. You know what? We've seen it north of I-80 in Iowa. Man, it's up into southern parts of Wisconsin right now. A nice band of shower activity going all the way down the Mississippi, actually out through the Delta even. Low pressure is located south, Arkansas, and then near the Joplin, Missouri area. We're going to be watching this moisture as it moves eastward. There's been a couple of nice tongues of moisture move all the way into central parts of Indiana. So there's moisture around. A lot of the forecasts that we're trying to go dry over the eastern Corn Belt, Indiana especially, and maybe parts of Ohio, I think those are going to be destined to fail. We're holding with our forecast that says anywhere from 0.05 of an inch to about 0.3 across areas from eastern Illinois across Indiana and Ohio, maybe half an inch or so back in western Illinois right now. We're taking a little shine off the top end. We don't think an inch is likely anywhere except maybe down in the boot heel of Missouri. But either way, moisture that comes through will not be excessively helpful at this point. We should be dry for most of tomorrow, Friday, Saturday across the Corn Belt, and then our next weather system comes in later Saturday in the Western Belt and spreads eastward. Still looking at 0.5 to 2 inch rainfall totals across most corn areas here, corn and bean areas. Coverage about 90%. The upper Midwest, northern, central parts of Minnesota, northern Wisconsin might miss out just a little bit on that. And you know what? The extended forecast period really hasn't changed either. I like a system for the 29th and 30th. We are seeing better thunderstorms coming together, though, especially coming out of southern Nebraska, northern Kansas, across southern Iowa, and northern Missouri as we head through the 28th. So moving toward the middle of next week. May have to keep an eye out for some thunderstorm clusters there. They will morph into that system for the 29th and 30th. 0.5 to 1 inch rainfall totals. I don't think we can write those off yet. As we go into early June, then models are saying there's going to be another system that moves in somewhere between the late the 2nd and the 5th. I actually prefer an earlier solution, 2nd, 3rd, mostly because the pattern right now seems to be one where we have systems every 2 to 3 days. We get the waves, the pulses to come through. That kind of macro pattern isn't going to change on a dime. So I'm preferring a sooner solution there. That's something that we need to bring up just due to the fact that I know a lot of people planting are looking if we can get a window beyond 2 to 3 days. And right now I'll say this, I don't see that on through probably the first full week of June. As we go farther out, maybe you put a little bit more warm air into the atmosphere, as one would expect to happen in June. Maybe we can stretch some windows out, but it really looks like now this current pattern is going to hold right on into early June. One thing that'll be real interesting is to watch back in the central and southern plains. It looks to me like we're going to kind of shift gears from these large, slow-moving, excessively moisture-laden systems that move slowly across the region to more frontal-bound reaction, ones that come through quicker. So we still have good moisture in the forecast for hard red winter wheat areas, but maybe not the deluge kind of situations. That being said, still looking for moderate to heavy rain probably as we go through the end of this week and then again toward the middle of next week. That's the way things are stacking up. Temperature-wise, as we said, cold air is leaving. Don't get me wrong, I don't think we're racing and turning around to go the other way anytime soon, but temperature's getting back close to normal. That's something that we can count on as we go through the Memorial Day weekend and on through next week. Other areas of concern likely have to do with harvest now as we go into the southern plains. Moisture, when is it going to subside enough that we can get good drying for wheat? We're already talking about some wheat sprouting. What happens if we just don't get real good dry down weather to try and get wheat harvest underway? Could be looking at some harvest delays there. International weather pretty slow at this point in time. Keeping an eye on the Black Sea area. Still think there's moisture that's dancing around. We'll have to see whether any of these systems, these showers with a front, can sneak into the central region and northern parts of the southern region. Those are the driest areas right now. But it doesn't look like we've got major issues. Not a lot of hot air coming in with that dryness, at least currently. That's the way things are stacking up. If you've got any questions on the weather, give us a call at Allendale. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin.